right now, we will go to our incredible ring announcer, Melissa Santos.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first.
We are beyond sold out tonight in Long Beach. Standing room only. Johnny LaQuasta on the call here with Jordan Castle as we await the first introduction of the night.
Total no vacancy here at Thunder Studios. We want to thank you again for joining us live across the globe here on the Unbeaten Sports Channel. And Johnny, our opening contest, truly, without hyperbole, a match
making his way to the ring from your hometown of Los Angeles, California, weighing in at 208 pounds, he is Scorpio with Sky!
A massive ovation for one of the true standard bearers of Southern California athletes over the past 15 years. He's a two-time AEW TNT champion, one half of the inaugural AEW Tag Team Champions with Frankie Kazarian, not to mention a former Ring of Honor Tag Champion, and certainly on the Mount Rushmore of the United Wrestling Network. He is Scorpio Sky.
Home game tonight in his native Southern California, though the same can be said of his opponent.
And his opponent.
On his neck, ain't no mercy when I catch him and he witness weapon X.
And his opponent, making his way to the ring, weighing in at 262 pounds, he is the Machine, the Wolverine, the Vanilla Gorilla from the 559, they call him Cage!
It has been proven that not only is the Machine back, but he is more destructive than ever. Jordan Castle, Brian Cage made a triumphant return to professional wrestling back at OWA Pittsburgh a few months ago and to AEW as well after a long and arduous recovery from multiple knee surgeries. And to come back in better condition just proves the relentless work ethic of Brian Cage.
Yeah, back and better than ever. And that's crazy. That's insane to say about Brian Cage, who is perpetually in a shape that most people, most athletes, most wrestlers would kill to look like Johnny LaQuasta. And this, somehow, the ultimate version of the Machine.
And look, I'm going to be honest. I have known Brian Cage and Scorpio Sky since 2010, since in the earlier moments of all of our careers. And Brian Cage and Scorpio Sky, always tremendous athletes, but Jordan, they have always been so durable, avoiding injuries. And Brian Cage, this injury was a vivid reminder that every opportunity counts when your livelihood gets taken away.
An injury that happened in the main event here in Southern California, his native Southern California, an OnlyWrestlers event against one masterpiece, Chris Masters. So there's got to be an extra chip on the shoulder of Brian Cage here tonight to right that wrong.
No question about that, but nonetheless, there is a extreme respect between these two men. Scorpio Sky and Brian Cage are both so accomplished over the course of their careers. And look, as far as West Coast professional wrestling, you really can't talk about the West Coast scene without mentioning these two names over the past 15 plus years.
Yeah, this is a singles match we've seen with the California Independents before their time on national television, Johnny. But you gotta think they've both grown so much over the course of the last 7 years since their time under the nationally televised spotlight.
No question. Of course, Sky now a part of Skyflight with Dante and Darius Martin in AEW and Ring of Honor. And, you know, Brian Cage has certainly had an interesting run in AEW since coming back from injury, and he's been on a destructive path, to say the least. There's the uncanny athleticism, a double stomp to the thoracic by Scorpio Sky.
The height there from Scorpio Sky, so explosive.
Sky is a 5-time United Wrestling Network television champion, former Heritage champion. No doubt one of the absolute faces of United over the past 15 plus years, competing in OnlyWrestlers for the first time, and now he's got Cage in the corner, a cluster of right hands, but Cage able to evade, and look out!
He's my second favorite United Heritage champion, but we don't have to get into that, John.
We don't have enough time in the day to get into your boy Maximilian.
Oh boy, one in a million.
Yes, very interesting things coming up for him, but nonetheless, Scorpio Sky, vision impaired here as the Machine charging in with a European uppercut, follows up with an enziguri, and now German suplex. Sky crashing to the canvas, and when Brian Cage starts to pile it on, he can end things quickly.
The power of Brian Cage is apparent. You don't have to be a savant or a student of the game to know that as he goes for the cover here.
First cover of the night here, and Sky able to kick out at 2.
It's the athleticism that always catches me, and seemingly at the moment, Scorpio Sky off guard.
And of course, Cage, Jordan, a laundry list of accomplishments in his career. Former TNA World Champion, former X Division Champion, former FTW Champion, and of course, titles in Ring of Honor as well. 6-man World TV title. And this is how we are kicking off the night, with a vicious Irish whip to the corner. We are kicking that out off with Scorpio Sky and Brian Cage.
That's right, could see this on TBS, could see this on TNT here on the Unbeaten Sports Channel. It's how we're starting off the festivities. And let you talk about accomplishments, Johnny LaQuasto. Just over the past month, Brian Cage actually clinching the Mr. Nevada in the world of bodybuilding. So a literal award-winning physique from the Machine here.
Which really speaks to his recovery. He was out of action for the better half of 15 months. And he dealt with multiple injuries. That wasn't the plan. Unfortunately, his first injury, his first surgery didn't take. He had to go back under the knife. So to not only come back to compete, but to be in that kind of condition, to win a bodybuilding competition, as he's now wrenching on the left knee of Scorpio Sky, all the pressure on the quad, certainly the patellar tendon as well. Sky needs to find a way to get to the bottom rope, because there is no way you are rolling Brian Cage out of this hole.
Maybe taking some of those frustrations he had from missing a year of action out on Scorpio Sky here. Sky thankfully makes to the bottom rope, but such great torque there from Brian Cage.
And one thing we're seeing from Cage since his return, Jordan, we are seeing a bit more of a methodical and calculated professional athlete. You know, Brian Cage used to be about, I'm not getting paid by the hour, I will destroy you quickly. But now I think he realizes that with his strength, with his power, and let's be honest, he's also very technical, he can wear opponents down.
A true, well-rounded wrestler, and you gotta be. When you miss a year of injury, when you have to go under the knife, as you said, multiple times, you have to rethink your strategy, rethink how you do things. But clearly, Johnny, as we saw with that jumping knee, has not lost a bit of that trademark explosivity.
Yeah, for those who's wondering how the recovery has gone, Brian Cage just gave an answer.
And for those who are wondering who's better than Cage, the answer still, for the moment, nobody. Though Sky hoping to prove that wrong here, Johnny.
Scorpio Sky has proven that wrong in the past over the course of their careers, but Brian Cage, a right hand, and Sky plummets to the outside.
But again, this is such a different version of both Scorpio Sky and Brian Cage. Their championship-winning time on national television has transformed them from the athletes they were in Baldwin Park 7 years ago. And this is such a dangerous place to be. No padding here on the concrete floor of Thunder Studios, LaQuasto.
No, this is definitely a dangerous spot on the outside, but with two competitors like this, there's no questioning where the action could spill to, but Sky able to evade the body slam on the floor, sending Cage right into the post, but Cage catching Sky in midair.
Uh-oh.
Oh my God, what's the Machine thinking here?
No, gorilla press slam.
Oh no!
Sent 3 feet forward, spine first.
Referee Chris Massey has now gone to the outside because he certainly does not want to call a double count out here. He's imploring Brian Cage to get Sky back inside the ring. Not exactly shocking, the first match of the night has already broken out in chaos.
And a rake of the eyes there from Scorpio Sky, though with the beat down from Brian Cage, you can hardly blame him playing a little dirty here, LaQuasto.
Hold on, what is Sky thinking here?
No
He's looking to pick up some speed. Over the barricade, taking down the Machine.
But may have clipped his knee in the process there. Bit of an awkward landing. Managed to drop the Machine, but might have taken some out of himself there, Johnny.
Well, they always say there isn't any physical feat Brian Cage can't do. Well, Scorpio Sky certainly proving the same for himself.
And Sky perhaps happy to win this match via count out. At least trying to break the count, keep the match going here.
Sky, one of the longest tenured competitors in AEW as he gets back inside the ring. Had a tremendous run.
Hold on!
As part of SCU, over the top! A senton to the outside! And Cage and Sky completely wiped out onto the floor, but you see Sky grasping that left knee.
You know, we speculated for Brian Cage trying to right a wrong here in this matchup. We might see a knee injury once again, but it might not be to Brian Cage here, Johnny.
And it's a good thing that Chris Massey is the official in this match. Another Southern California staple. He knows both of these men very well and what they're capable of. Sky into a modified TKO there. Into a cover, could it be? And Cage able to get the left shoulder up.
So difficult to keep a man Brian Cage's size down. Nearly 300 pounds of pure, unadulterated muscle. Even 3 seconds, it's such a massive feat here, Johnny.
And it's incredible to see both of these men still at the absolute top of their game. You know, 15 years ago, Brian Cage and LA Knight were tag team partners, being managed by the legendary, the late Percy Pringle. And then Scorpio Sky just came storming in and won title after title. And right now, they're still at the peak of their careers. Sky looking to put Cage away into an Impaler DDT.
Will it be enough?
Into the cover, center of the ring, hooks the leg. Oh my goodness, 2 4/5 there for Sky.
Well, let me ask you this, LaCroix. As someone who has watched and called the journey of both of these men over the course of the last decade plus, what does Scorpio Sky have to do to put away a man as big as Brian Cage, who is as determined as Brian Cage is here tonight?
To be honest, I'm not really sure if there is an answer, and it's certainly not coming from me, because there is only one Brian Cage. You name one other professional wrestler who looks like Brian Cage, who has the athletic ability of Brian Cage. There might be 0.
Well, he may be looking for it here, but as we know, those are not just show muscles, LaQuasto. These are go muscles, putting that to the test here.
But meanwhile, Scorpio Sky, there isn't anything in his arsenal that he's not able to. Oh, speaking of which, Cage rolling into the cover there. Could that be it? And no, Sky. Cage did not hook the leg, and that could have been a mistake there.
Calling on the faithful here in Long Beach. Brian Cage maybe thinking that signature drill claw here, LaQuasto.
We see Brian Cage decimate someone with a drill claw almost weekly on AEW Dynamite. Could we see it tonight? He certainly has Sky up. He's looking for, maybe thinking
F5, but Sky had it scouted.
If anyone has it scouted, it's going to be Scorpio Sky, but a right hand catches the former 5-time television champion, and now Sky once again, though, always so elusive, always so aware, and now a boot to the face of Brian Cage. Could Sky find a way now? Fisherman style into a fisherman buster.
How about the power there? Into the cover.
And oh my goodness.
Got to think both Christopher Daniels and Don Callis watching this one at home with a smile on their face, edge of their seat, looking for their man to eke out a victory.
Well, one of them will not have a smile on their face after this match. That is guaranteed. Scorpio Sky once again within an eyelash of scoring his debut victory for OnlyWrestlers Live. Meanwhile, Brian Cage got the best of Chandler Hopkins a few months ago at OWA Pittsburgh, which was also live on Unbeaten. Now Sky looking to put the finishing touches. A knee lands and now going for a right hand, and once again Cage, he's so elusive. Oh my goodness, into a power bomb, and that'll do it.
You spoke to it before, referee Chris Massey with the best seat in the house. A hair's breadth away from victory, but got that shoulder up at the last second, did Scorpio Sky.
Well, I'll be honest, I don't envy Chris Massey with these 2 beasts in the ring.
No. Hold on, Scorpio Sky back up to his feet. Maybe a second win here, LaQuasto.
Well, you have to imagine these 2 are having flashbacks to all of the incredible matches they have had over the course of their careers. They're doing it now live on Unbeaten across the globe, live on Adrenaline Plus.
And they know each other so well. You see the familiarity here.
That knee hit square right in the center of the ring, and Scorpio Sky, what is it gonna take?
You can see frustration already starting to seep into the mind and the eyes of Scorpio Sky. He's asking himself, what do I have to do to put this man, what do I have to do to put this machine away?
And Jordan, what we're seeing here are 2 athletes at the absolute top of their game. You could see them on any given week on Dynamite, any given week on Ring of Honor, any given week on Collision, and they're here right now for OnlyWrestlers, looking to kick off the night with a massive victory. What a counter by Brian Cage!
Sky maybe thinking that TKO, but Cage just too big!
Discus lariat by Cage. Sky might be out, but Cage isn't done. Hoisted him up, and it's drill claw time. The machine rolls into the cover, and that'll do it. Brian Cage, another victory.
And here's your winner, Brian Cage!
Jordan Castle, what can we say to the people watching all around the world besides that was only the first match of the night?
We got so much great action in store. Lucha Libre action, hoss fight action, championship action, and that huge tag team main event. But how about Brian Cage righting that aforementioned wrong? The same place, the same promotion where he injured that knee in the first place here, a huge win over Scorpio Sky.
What a tremendous start to the night between Scorpio Sky and Brian Cage. We'll be right back on Unbeaten.